sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
Dismantle until every Palestinian from the river to the sea is finally
Screams of families trapped in the school being burnt alive in Gaza City, but are unable to help due to the Israeli occupation forces cutting water access. It was confirmed that it was a US-made GBU-39 small diameter bomb. Israel dropped a US-made bomb that slices body parts. No one was recognizable. No body was found intact. 10 months in, and Gaza is still burning. Gaza is still bleeding. And I'm not sure how many more languages we need to translate these massacres into for people to feel some empathy. I don't understand how many more languages we need to translate these names into to find some humanity in the world. We have now witnessed bodies completely crushed under the rubble. Mothers writing their children's names on their limbs. Children with no legs, no arms, no heads. Fathers carrying their children's remains in bags. Families being burnt alive, bodies thrown into mass graves, and daughters watching their fathers burning alive in front of them. Our government cannot wash their hands of the blood of the Palestinian children when they've still got factories on this very land that equip the oppressor. And now they've got our very own actionists, the Filton Six, still held without charge. You tell me who the terrorists are. Those manufacturing the weapons or those destroying and halting their production?
Who would have thought that 310 days and still the genocide is going? Who would have thought that 310 days and the world is failing to stop the atrocities? Palestinians are no longer just killed in numbers, they are now killed in kilograms. In kilograms. In the Tabi'in school 2 days ago, children were given body bags of 70 kilos if they were looking for their fathers or mothers.
We must use all the arguments we can. The legal arguments, the moral arguments, the arguments of decency and the arguments of peace. And just simply say this: if we carry on pouring arms into the conflict, we carry on not achieving a ceasefire, more and more Palestinian lives will be lost. More and more money will be made out of the arms trade, and another war will break out, be it with Yemen, with Lebanon, with Iran, or whoever else, and the situation will get worse and worse and worse. So we have to do all that we can. That means marching, that means meeting, that means demonstrating, and that means mobilizing large numbers of people. And we've been doing that with great success.
Another massacre took place a couple of days ago during Fajr prayers in a school. Over 100 Palestinians were killed. This school was being used as a shelter for displaced Palestinians. This is an ongoing massacre, the massacre after massacre as part of the genocide. This genocide is happening massacre by massacre, and that's why we're on the streets here today, that we can't allow these massacres to be normalized. We need to make sure that we're reacting, that we're opposing these massacres on the streets, in our schools, in our colleges, universities, in our workplaces. Every single step we need to oppose this genocide taking place. Our message is still the same as it was for the previous government to this government. We need an arms embargo right now. We need a ceasefire that's meaningful. So therefore, we need to call for an arms embargo. How is it that 40,000 Palestinians are being killed and we're still selling arms to Israel? How is that even possible? So we need to make sure we're ramping up that pressure on our MPs to abide by international law, and we just continue on that. And we make sure that, as I said, on September the 7th, we've got a national demonstration. Make sure we're there for that. But the education is important. The educational awareness must continue. So on August the 24th, we've got an event called Palestine Convention in Shoreditch. where we're bringing together leading experts to discuss, to engage, to educate and empower our communities so we know how to re-engage and make sure the movement continues to build in the UK. Final message, don't give up. Changes are happening. Changes are happening. They might not be in the media, but the changes are happening. And we need to keep pushing. Do not stop believing. We cannot afford to stop believing. The Palestinian people, our brothers and sisters, they cannot afford for us to stop. We must continue. We must continue. And on that note, I spoke to a brother from Gaza who's here. He spoke to his family about the work that we're doing here. And he told them, when he showed them the images of what we're doing in the videos, they started to cry to know that there's so much solidarity. This is something we need to continue. We need to keep coming on the street. We need to keep campaigning until we see a free Palestine.